It's the 19th of January 2022. Hello again from the Karate Do World News channel. You are watching the 22nd live broadcast with me. I am ERMAN AKBUDAK, Turkish national referee and coach. And I will share here the recent news and actions of Karate Do each Wednesday as a scheduled day for my live broadcast. And sorry I missed the last week's episode. Well, today we have four titles, four headlines. Let's start with the first one from the WKF's website. Karate 1 Premier League Rabat has been postponed. Well, the Karate 1 Premier League event was expected to be held in Rabat has been postponed to May the 13th to 15th. Initially announced to March 11th to 13th, the Karate 1 Premier League Rabat session is now scheduled from May 13 to 15. Well, the postponement is caused due to the lack of the necessary, timely and formal authorization from the Moroccan authorities to hold the competition. Well, after the rescheduling, the season of Karate 1 Premier League will begin in Fujairah, UAE, United Arab Emirates, from February, from February 18th to 20, and then we'll travel to Lisbon in April, and of course Portugal. And Rabat now becomes the third stop of the season from May 13th to 15th, the scheduled date, while the Year of Karate Do's first class series of international events is planned to include in Baku, Azerbaijan, from September the 2nd to the 4th, and Moscow, Russia, from October 7th to 9th. Well, so we have the updates now for the WKF events. And the international fixture in the international calendar, of course, a traditional fixture, I should say. Rabat hosted a Karate 1 Premier League in the league event for the last time in 2019. Well, the city was expected to host Karate 1 Premier League event in the pandemic years, but both competitions had been cancelled, of course, due to the virus. Our second headline for today is Karate 1 series. Another important action for karate as a sport is Series A, we call that. We already mentioned in the previous weeks, and we will do so in the weeks to come. Well, we have the Pamplona session. It will be held in Pamplona for this season, first time. Well, the challenge of WKF ranking the Karate 1 Series A, Pamplona, inaugurates the new competition format for the massive series of international karate events. Well, hundreds of karates from all over the world will clash for the title and for the points on, of course, the WKF's world ranking. So it's important. We have seen the importance of world ranking and the Olympic ranking before the Olympics. Remember. Well, after nearly 2 years of course, gap due to the corona pandemic, well, the Karate 1 Series A now is returning to the international calendar with the anticipated event, the planned event, to be held in Pamplona, which is the city of Spain, by the way, I forgot to mention, from January 28 to 30. Well, it will be held for the first time of its kind since the Karate 1 Series A in San Diego. You can remember in January 2020. Well, the competition will be held at the magnificent Navarra Arena Sports Hall, a state-of-the-art multi-purpose venue with a capacity of 11,000 spectators and with the best conditions for the first-class karate event. Well, let me briefly talk about that WKF ranking challenge. Well, one of the main updates of the this year's season of Karate 1 Series A refers to the inscription of competitors, the athletes, and the greater importance of this ranking. Well, the categories will be limited to a maximum of 96 competitors per division, and only competitors who are ranked from the position 33 will be allowed to participate at Karate 1 Series A event. So there's the number of athletes, restriction on the numbers of athletes, we should highlight that. And also athletes will be striving to earn the points that allow them to participate in the Karate's biggest event, the Karate 1 Premier League. So it will be a threshold, for the Karate 1 Premier League. So as only 32 athletes per category compete in the Karate 1 Premier League, the first-class karatekas hope to reach the positions in the ranking, which may give them the right to consider to participate in all the phases of the tournament. So, as a result, to sum up, well, the challenge of the WKF ranking begins for many athletes as they aim to reach each one of the top ranking groups. And the results of the Karate 1 Series A, the first one, Pamplona in Spain, will have an immediate effect on the WKF's ranking and on the inscriptions of coming events, the following events, since the points will be effective, the accumulated points will be effective for the athletes to register to the event in Lisbon. Karate 1 Premier League. So they have to acquire some points, get some points to get the ticket to Lisbon Premier League. Our third headline is from Turkey, of course. As I also mentioned it previously, we will see the Turkish Seniors Karate Championship after the competitions to be held in, of course, Kocaeli, Martirpolis Recep Topaloğlu Sports Hall on the dates 3rd to 5th of February. Well, the selection competitions, national team selection competitions, will be held on the 6th of February to determine the candidates for the senior national team. Well, competition details will be announced in the coming days, of course, as it's highlighted in the Turkish Karate Federation's website, official webpage. The last one on our agenda, the fourth headline is, there's an interview made by, of course, our new president, Aslan Abid Uğur, and he says, let me quote, "A federation with an institutional structure both raises its image and increases its income as well as its awareness." The Turkish Karate Federation President, Dr. Attorney Aslan Abid Uğur, said that they attach great importance to the development of the institutional structure. So, reminding that he was re-elected president at the General Assembly of the Federation, Mr. Uğur stated that they will support the clubs with the infrastructure most frequently, especially with the infrastructure in the new year, stating that they are making efforts to popularize karate in schools especially. Wu said, quote, "There is a great discipline in karate. Karate is not an actually combat sport, but a philosophy." Well, people who do this sport both take responsibility in a calm way and learn to protect themselves. So their confidence, therefore, increases. Made such comments like that. Well, he continued saying that, when asked about the questions, concerning Olympics, the position of Karate Do in the Olympics, he said that, well, the removal of Karate from Paris 2024 is a political decision, he said. Well, regarding the fact that Karate will not be included in the next Paris Olympics, he said the French Karate Federation has a share in this decision. Well, the removal of Karate from Paris 2024 is a political decision. In fact, that Karate was a very popular sport. Although we have its popularity in France, we can see that. But the French Karate Federation is a political one. A little bit of accusing the federation, but not the popularity of karate in France. Well, but he put his own interest ahead of karate, not behind it, and he said, and also he stated that the removal of karate from the Olympics was not due to the fact that it was a tough sport and as it was thought actually. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen. And Olympics without karate affects the spirit of the sports negatively. So we will do our best, he says, to make karate take place in the Olympics again without compromising the essence of the sport. Changing some or spoiling the essence, the originality. Noting that there are 3 very important activities ahead of them in the new year, Mr. Wu said. Well, firstly, the European Seniors Karate Championship will be held in Gaziantep, and there is the Youth and Under 21 World Championship, which is also important. And he said that our first goal is to successfully pass these 3 events, he said. Well, that was all from me. It was quick, but a snapshot like, cover of the agenda for this week. If you have any ideas or, say something, your opinions are all welcomed under this video. I hope to see you here on Karate Wilderness channel with another video next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Turkish local time. Stay tuned with Karate Do. Os.